Hello, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at a hypothetical 2024 matchup. This time we've got Gretchen Whitmer for the Democrats and Mitt Romney for the Republicans. And this is another one suggested to me in the comments a long time ago. I'm still trying to go back through most of the reasonable suggestions. So today it's going to be Whitmer and Romney. So what are we looking at here? Well, Gretchen Whitmer is in office, governor of Michigan. She's been mentioned as a backup to Joe Biden as the 2024 nominee. I think she's going to do well with your standard Democrat, not so much with progressives. She'll get a lot of suburban voters, women, probably some independents as well. Personally, I think she is a little bit overrated insofar as in a general election, she would do all right, but not as well as I've seen her made out to be. She does have a Michigan accent. I think they would probably hurt her the most in a place like the South. Now, as for Mitt Romney, he's older, he's got a lot of experience, he might do okay with independents, higher income voters, and those Republicans that were not a big fan of Trump, but also Romney has been too opposed to Donald Trump, so he is going to lose a significant portion of those voters. And we saw what he did when he ran for president back in 2012. He didn't do horrible, but of course he didn't win. Now, since then, there's been more political polarization, but Romney is going to take a hit with the GOP base. I don't think there's any way around it. Now, a lot of the Trump voters who don't like Romney, they're going to be more opposed to Whitmer, so I think enough of them are still going to come back home to Romney in the general election. So with all that said, let's go through these states. We'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. So we'll start in Alaska. Yes, they have ranked choice voting. That could make it more complicated, but to me, Romney is similar to Lisa Murkowski, and I think that kind of appeal is still going to be enough for him to win this by a safe margin. Hawaii, safe for Whitmer. Same with Washington, Oregon, and California. Those are very blue states. Next up, Nevada. Here's where I think Whitmer is going to do better. She's going to win Washoe and Clark counties. Romney's going to take a hit with blue-collar voters, so Whitmer is going to get this by a lean margin. Idaho and Utah, those are red states, and they're going to be safe for Romney. Now we've got Arizona. Here's a state that's not a huge fan of the Trump brand, so that is going to help Romney. But with the growth in Maricopa County, the state might have moved too far left still for Romney. I don't think Whitmer is that exciting. That might work here. I think it would be very close. In the end, I went with a tilt for Whitmer. Montana, Wyoming, safe for Romney. Colorado, safe for Whitmer. New Mexico, likely for Whitmer. North and South Dakota, safe for Romney. Nebraska at large, safe for Romney. The second district, I think, would be more competitive. Romney is not a horrible fit here, so I think it would come down to the national environment. But in this, I still have it going to Whitmer by a tilt margin. Kansas and Oklahoma safe for Romney. Down to Texas. Romney, I think, is going to get back some in the suburbs, but those red counties are not going to be as red. So I think Romney is going to sink a couple of points, but it's still going to be just enough to keep this over 5 points and likely for Romney. Minnesota is going to be mid-single digits, likely for Whitmer. Iowa is going to be about 5.5 points. I think it's just too red. Most of the evangelicals would be willing to come out for Romney, so he's going to get it by a likely margin. Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, too red, safe for Romney. Next, into the Rust Belt with Wisconsin. I think Romney being against Trump here is going to cost him a few points. Whitmer is from neighboring Michigan. I think ultimately her appeal is going to have more success. She's going to get the state by at least 3 to 4 points, so leans for Whitmer. Illinois, safe for Whitmer. How about Whitmer's home state of Michigan? Of course, she's going to win it. She's going to get a decent bump. It's not going to hit 10 points, though, with polarization these days. Even though Romney was born in this state and his dad was governor, it's going to go to Whitmer by a likely margin. Indiana's going to get a little bit more narrow, but it's still going to be safe for Romney. Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, safe for Romney. Down in the Sunshine State, I think it's moved too far to the right that Whitmer is not going to be able to win. Romney's going to do worse than Trump and DeSantis, but he's still going to be able to hold on to the state by a lean margin. North to Georgia. Here's one where the Atlanta suburbs, I think, are going to come back enough here for Romney. And if Brian Kemp here can win by more than 5 points, that should bode well for Romney. Plus Whitmer, I don't think she's going to be really exciting with black voters in the South, so it's going to be competitive. But in the end, I gave it to Romney by a tilt. South Carolina, safe for Romney. North Carolina, this is another close one. You could say the depressed turnout with the Trump base will flip this to Whitmer. It's possible. I think Romney's going to make it really close, and I do have him getting it by a tilt. If we go to Ohio, here's another state that borders Michigan. Romney is not known for his success with the union voters or blue-collar voters in the Rust Belt, but the state has just become too red. It is going to go to Romney. It's going to be about 4.5 points, so it's going to get down to leans. West Virginia is safe for Romney. If we go all the way to the corner and take a look at Maine at large, this is going to be high single digits, close to 10, but still likely for Whitmer. The first district, I think, is going to get a little bit more narrow, but Whitmer's still going to get it safe. The second district, this is much more Trump-friendly, and that's not going to be Romney. I could see Whitmer potentially winning here, so it's tough. I think Romney's going to do a lot worse than Trump, up, so it's going to get all the way down to a tilt margin, but he's still going to be able to hold it. Next door in New Hampshire, this is going to be mid-single digits, probably 4.5 to 5 points. It's another tough one, but I went with a leans for Whitmer. Now we've got the blue states. We've got Vermont, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Safe for Whitmer. Next, Pennsylvania. Romney's going to get a little bit back here in the Philadelphia suburbs, but he's going to lose some in the red Trump counties, so it's going to go likely about 5 to 6 points for Whitmer. The last state is Virginia. Some of those Northern Virginia voters are going to be open to coming back to Mitt Romney, but more of them that left the party under Donald Trump are going to just stick around for Whitmer. And again, Romney's going to lose some in the red counties, so in the end, it's going to go likely for Whitmer. So the final total comes out to 287 for Gretchen Whitmer, 251 for Mitt Romney. So Whitmer gets this one. Romney comes up short, even though I think he's going to lose out in some of the Trump base. Plenty of those Republicans are either going to vote against Whitmer or for the party, but I do think Romney has more to lose here than Whitmer. Whitmer, I don't think is going to get much of the progressive vote, but I don't think she's going to need it. I always thought she would be more valuable as a running mate than for president. She's the kind of person that I think looks better prior to her running. If she got into the race, I think she would come down a little bit. And Romney, I don't think is very popular right now, but I think if he actually did get into the race, in the end, he actually would come up a little bit. If it was a red-leaning national environment, then Romney might be competitive. Other than that, I think Whitmer's got this one in the bag. You could go on and try to analyze the specific issues and guess how they would run their campaigns. I'm sure you could tweak some of these margins, but the end result I don't think is going to change. But who knows how it would really go? Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this matchup? I'm guessing most people think Whitmer would win, but maybe you have a different take on how she gets to that win. Or maybe you think she would completely fall flat if she were actually running and Romney would surge. Let me know what you think down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.